Good morning. Gonna tie a fly today. Haven't tied one week or so. So this one has a little story behind it. So several years ago when I started fly fishing, I picked it up and I dove right in and I got to fish quite a bit the first year that I fished. And I remembered that my mom had fly fished and I saw her fish before. Um, but I'd never fished with her. I never learned it until I was older. Um, so whenever I started fly fishing, uh, I invited her to come fish with me in San Marcos, and or maybe it was at the camp. Anyway, she came and she had a fly rod, and she had this fly that she had picked out. And in my amazing wisdom, I thought of that fly as not being good for what we were doing, so I took it and gave her another one. Well, I came across that fly, and I've got it right here. And looking back, I think that that fly is an amazing fly, especially for where she would be fishing, which was at our cabin. So I'm going to retie this fly, kind of recreate it. And I don't know who originally tied this fly, where she got it, and I don't know what it's called. But I'm going to call mine the Muddy Muzzy. So my mom's nickname is Muzzy to a good part of my family. And the creek that we fish in is kind of a brown. It's not really muddy, but it's brown water, and there's a lot of these colored creatures floating around, swimming around in the creek. So the Muddy Muzzy. So let me. You can call it whatever you want to, Manny. So Manny's online. Hi, Manny. Manny's never been to the camp. So anyway, uh, so here's the fly, the original. That's the one I'm going to copy. Now here's the deal with this fly. It's got a lot of good things going. First of all, I love to tie with bead chain eyes, and it's got bead chain eyes. That's very cool. Then it's got this very smart weed guard on the front that keeps whenever the lure is going across. If it hits any weeds, the weeds will go over the hook instead of hooking in and getting all tangled up. And then it's got these rubbery legs. So basically, I've got all these parts. Obviously, I've got a hook that's the same size. I've got these are from a bass jig, and I took the rubber part off and drew stripes on it with a marker so that I could get some legs. I also have black that I could choose from. I think it might be too dark. I've got a portion of a hare's mask, a rabbit mask. This is, I know it's kind of disturbing, but that's the ear. And then this fluffy part right here is the part that was used on the original fly. I've got fishing line, heavy fishing line that's bent already. You can just heat it up with a lighter to bend it to get the shape you need. I've got bead chain eyes. Now the bead chain that I have was a lighter color, and I just dipped it in the fingernail polish to make it black. I've got my brown thread, and you could use a different color because you won't see much of the thread anyway. And then I've got lead, because I'm pretty sure this fly has lead in it to make it heavy. So, and there's my mom, who the fly is going to be named after. So here we go. Again, this is the fly that I have that I'm going to be copying. Kind of looks like a very small crayfish or water bug of some kind. So, as usual, I'm using my Walmart hooks that have a little crook in them, which I don't like to have. So I'm going to take that crook out of the mix there. Just going to straighten out the hook. Okay. I've also got these barbs that are on top of the hook because it's a bait holder. I have a hard time finding regular hooks that are not bait holders at Walmart. And then I'm going to press down the barb on the hook itself. Makes it easier to release from the fish if you decide to not keep the fish. Alright, so I'll get this locked in the vise. It's not tight enough. Notice that it moved a little bit whenever I flicked it. Okay, that's better. Now I can pull on it. It doesn't really move. All right, so I start off with a layer of thread. And this fly, the way that it's weighted, it has weight built under the fur, so it actually hits bottom and goes along the ground upside down like that. It does not ride generally in the water this way. So the weight will make that happen, and the bead chain will be. So I'm tying this fly upside down, basically, is what I'm trying to tell you. I stayed home from work today because I'm not feeling very well, but then I got bored, so then I decided to tie a fly. This is thin thread, so it takes a little bit to get a good base on there. I'll go ahead and tie in the bead chain eyes, and you just lay that over the hook, and you just cross it with the thread like that, and you just run it between there several times. This is usually tied in at the front of the hook, so this is a little bit more tricky because of the hook being right there, the point, I mean. Apologize for the sniffliness. I'm going to have to tie this fly quickly because I just got the low battery warning. Okay, now I'm going to go up, start right here, and I'm going to add in my lead. So it's just a roll of lead wire, and it's just a wire that's made of lead, and you can easily just break it off with your thumb. So I'm going to tie this in. One thing I want to be cautious of is not making this fly long and straight. If you look at it, this one tapers from the back to the front. Tapers to a point, which most bugs have some kind of shape like that. So I'll do that by the way that I wrap the lead. So I'll start wrapping the lead now. So I started with the lead on the top of, the bottom of the fly, but the top of the hook, or the way I've got it set. And then I'm just going to wrap this so the majority of the weight will be at the bottom of it. Work this back a little more. And I'll just go backwards on it. Then I'll come back and thank you, Marty. Misty. Yes, making flies pretty is what I'm all about. And like I always say, sometimes you tie a fly that looks amazing, and sometimes you end up with a bunch of crap tied to a hook. Hopefully I don't have that today. Just want to get this lead so that it's wrapped up pretty good so it doesn't move around on me. And I need to probably cover these eyes a little better too, because they were trying to twist around on me as well. And then next I want to tie in the weed guard. So this one, like I said, I took the fishing line, I heated it up a little bit, and when you heat it up, you can just bend it. I can actually show you that real quick. So I'll take this little end section, bend it over, and then you'll see it give when it heats up. Right there. And then you let it go, and then it's already got its bend in there. So now that I've done that, I'll cut it off so it's not in the way. Oh, I don't know where that went. It's a good thing it's a spare room. So I've got my bend, 3 bends actually. Let me cut off some extra of this. There. And then I'll start with one side. It's a little tricky upside down. Let me turn this over. Okay. You just want to get it to where it's as tall as the tip of the hook, the point of the hook. And then just tie it in so it doesn't move around on you. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it does need to be in line with the tip of the hook so that it actually does its job. Now I'm going to take a second to put in some nail polish because it's going to move around on me if I don't. So set this in, get a good little coating in here that'll help secure it. I'll get off some of this extra. Kathy, I would love to do that. I'm always in search of someone that fishes out here. Okay. Now, I'm going to take some wax. This is bow wax from Bowstring. Coat this up real good. It just gives it some extra holding ability. And then it cuts into the wax and doesn't come off, apparently. I'm going to take my hare's ear and come in here to this. See, it's kind of white, faded to brown, and then it gets darker as it goes down the face. So I'm going to go in here into this middle part and just rip some out. I'm going to take that and just kind of fluff it. Then I'm just going to web it out like this. Take that and turn it onto the string, my thread, I mean. This is where a lot of my body shape is going to come. And then I'm just going to start wrapping this. And I'm going to start wrapping it at the head, around the eyes, and in between, like that. One more turn there. Okay, I'm going to come forward with it. And then right here, about this area is where the legs are tied in. So these are way too long, but these will give me something to hold on to. Again, this is just yellow rubber from a bass jig skirt. I'm going to take this, so I can get this to lay down. Do this tighter. just want to get my thread to grab onto that. Oh, I don't like that. Make it longer. Do it this way. I'm so smart. Work those legs down on the sides. I'm actually going to leave these, make those that length. I think I'm just going to cut this and leave it like that, just for a little bit of variety. Okay, and I'm going to take some more of my dubbing. Dubbing doesn't take a lot. So I get this kind of webby again. I need to re-wax my thread. Okay, I'm going to go right here between the legs and then pull the legs back and work my way down the rest of the way. I'm going to hit the dub one more time. Yep. Gives a new meaning to the term rolling on dubs, because I'm just rolling on some dubbing. I know that was terrible. More wax. Twist it on. I was actually at my cabin with Andy one time, and it was the first time I'd ever been on the sandbar in the dark. And I was walking with a flashlight, and I shined it down where I was walking, and I saw a bug down in the water that looked almost like a baby crayfish or something. And it made me think of this fly, and this is one of the reasons that I retied it. So this is pretty close to what we're going for. Now I'm going to go ahead and tie this thing off. Do my half hitch, simple half hitch, and then the tie off. I like to give credit to who I learned things from. I got this tie off from Dave Camus, from his tying videos. So 1, 2, do that again. So I'm going to use up some more of this thread and go a few wraps. I'm going to go over my finger, under the fly, over my finger, and lay it right there. I'm going to go through the first loop, grab the second thread, pull it through, put it back where it was, go through, grab it again, pull it through, tie it off like that. And I'll just snip this. I'll come in. I'm going to do this just in the nick of time. My phone's trying to die on me. And then try not to get this on the fur here, but I'm getting a bunch coming down the line there. Just a little bit there. On the tie off. And then clean it up some. And I've got this is where my desk is getting too junky. There. Now you'll know my secrets. So I'm going to take this brush and brush this back. Brush it back here. Okay, and there I have hopefully successfully recreated my mom's Muzzy. Mine looks a little bit different because of these legs sticking off. but anything that looks like legs on a bug is going to be helpful. So anyway, so there's my fly from my mother, the Muzzy. Hope you enjoyed watching that one. I had some cool little different things that I haven't tied with on Facebook or on my tying channel on YouTube. If you want to check me out, it's Big Irish 28. Quiet Man 28. I've got several, a few videos on there now. So, but if you like watching this kind of thing, it's basically all my videos are like this. I just decide to tie a fly and I give it a whirl. Sometimes the flies that I tie are the first time I've ever tied them. Sometimes it's ones that are tried and true in my fly box. So, hope you enjoyed. Have a great day. I'm seeing some faces I haven't seen in a long time on here. I see Billy, he's watching. So, a long time no see, Billy, and your family. Best to them. And have a great day.